This is the differentiated careers curriculum for years 7 to 11 that has been developed for use alongside the Cre8tive Careers curriculum. And this differentiated version has been developed to support your delivery of the statutory, careers and financial education content to students who speak English as an additional language, as well as students with a wide range of special educational needs, and also students who have lower reading ages than their peers. This differentiated pathway has been designed to ensure that all learners develop the language to access ambitious content and the cultural capital to thrive in life beyond school. We know that teaching for a wide range of learning abilities, needs and styles is a real challenge, so this pathway will provide you with the flexibility to ensure that your careers curriculum is really tailored to the individual needs of the learners in your class. If you're working within a specialist, SEND or EAL context, you might use the lesson PowerPoints to deliver the learning content to your whole class, with students recording their answers in the workbook as you go. So these have been designed so that there's just one resource to print off, everything is in there, and also these have been designed to reduce the amount of writing that students need to do so that they can focus on the more challenging concepts and the more engaging activities. If you're working within a mainstream context, you might have already purchased the Cre8tive Careers curriculum. You will deliver that to your mainstream students, and the differentiated version runs alongside this so that if you've got EAL and SEND students within the same classroom, they can work through the workbook alongside the mainstream students and work towards the same learning objectives, but obviously with the addition of the scaffolding. You might find it's most appropriate for your learners to work through the lesson PowerPoints and the workbooks with a teaching assistant at their own pace, and the vocabulary flashcards here will be really useful to prompt small group discussion and exploration of ideas, whilst again providing that scaffolding with a really important language for learning that students need. Because of the teacher-guided audio and the student workbook, students can also work independently through the learning content, particularly if they've missed a lesson or if they require a learning environment outside of the main classroom. All of this has been designed to offer flexibility for teachers, students and support staff, whilst also creating equitable access of more challenging concepts. We really want to increase confidence and engagement in the careers content. We want to develop students' academic language skills as well as their emotional literacy, providing them with the language for learning when meeting the core careers objectives. And we want to make sure that students have as many options for learning as possible, increasing student autonomy and independence. And all of this is woven into the differentiated pathway. So for each year group, from year 7 up to year 11, there are 7 one-hour lesson PowerPoints, so 7 lessons per year group. Each year group comes with its 80+ page student workbook, which matches up exactly to the lesson PowerPoints. And for each lesson, there is a set of vocabulary flashcards that have been created using communication in print, as well as the option for lesson recordings too. So just having a quick look at what the lesson PowerPoints look like, we'll just look at the first couple of slides. You can see that they have been designed so that they are autism friendly, so that they are supportive of students' sensory needs, and that communication in print has been used to communicate the key information to students to again reduce the kind of the pressure of reading, and you can see that we're giving lots of options wherever we can, so students can discuss, write, draw or circle their answer, which is particularly important at the beginning of the lesson so that we can ease students in and kind of reduce or remove as many barriers as possible to students' engagement and enjoyment in the lesson content. So this is just an example of a consolidation task that we might see later on in the lesson. We always try to give 3 options for the consolidation task. Again, making sure that these are really varied so that students can really do a task that resonates with them, and that there's lots of scaffolding and support in there, both in terms of reducing the need for writing a great deal or writing anything at all, but also in terms of kind of the answers that they might give. So supporting students with that language for learning, and making sure that it's communicated in a really concrete way as well. So there's very, very clear instructions, very, very clear support so that students can demonstrate to you what they've learned during that lesson. So this is just an example of what the student workbook looks like. So again, matched up to the lesson PowerPoints, and again, really making sure that students are supported with working as independently as possible in a way which is as personalised to them as possible, and which really capitalises and increases engagement as much as possible. So in addition to the lesson PowerPoints and the student workbooks, you will receive a set of vocabulary flashcards for each lesson. So you can just have a look at an example of what these look like. These can be printed off in a booklet form so that students can independently refer back to these whenever needed across the unit, or they can also be cut out, laminated and used for kind of vocabulary acquisition games at the start or kind of during or at the end of a unit to ensure that that vocabulary has been understood and consolidated. So these are really, really useful. We know that, without the language for learning, students aren't going to be able to access the content to the level that they have the potential to. So really, really important that students are provided with an opportunity to learn this language and revisit it and consolidate it if they're to get the most out of the careers provision that you offer them. If you would like to take more of a look, we have put lesson 1 for year 7 and year 11 on YouTube so that you can see what the audio versions of these PowerPoints and these lessons look like. And obviously, if you've got any questions, please feel free to drop us a message.